So I didn't mean to shut the last video off. But there's going to be a warning up here somewhere of what's going on about my childhood abuse story. So just breathe. So between 15 and 16, I really didn't have, I still don't have friends. I didn't have friends. I hated school. Hated school. I really couldn't do better than a C in anything, any subject. History, I failed at. I think math was the only one I got A's and B's at, but everything else was C's. I was not very good at anything. So here I am, 17. I'm still being bullied at school, still being harassed like you would not believe. And these girls are trying to flush me down the toilet. I'm sure you've heard of stuff like that. Well, I lived it. And I don't know what happened, but I was able to get away. And when I ran out of the girls' bathroom, I ran smack into someone. And this guy was a year ahead of us in school, so I think he was a senior that year. And it was him and his, I call them four Goonies, three Goonies. There's four of them, so I call them the Goonies is what I call them. The three boys that surrounded him. And the girls came out, and his Goonies kind of surrounded me. So he was like behind me, and then his Goonies were kind of in front, and I was like in the middle of the circle, and I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? What's happening? You know. So I was kind of on the scared side, and he did that whole big arm cross, you know, because he's a man. And he goes, "What's going on here?" And the girls are like, "Nothing. We're just getting even with her." And he goes, "What'd she do?" "Oh, she's a town slut, and she's a whore, and she's this, and she's that, and I mean, just the name calling. Oh my stars. I was called Smellin' Ellen, Lucy Lou, meaning being loose, you know, and other nasty names. And he stopped them and said, "No, you leave her alone and don't mess with her again. Otherwise, you'll have me to deal with it." And the whole time, he's got his arms crossed, right? And that was the beginning of our relationship as friends. As friends. Nothing else. We never slept together. Never. And Steven and his Goonies were really, really good to me that year. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I probably would have gone off the deep end and probably would have killed myself because I couldn't take it much more. The bullying was just too much for me. And so him and his buddies helped me out through that year. And coming up next for more.